Rohde Schwarz is a company based in Munich, but we have a local presence in over 60 countries around the world, so we're a truly global company. We have different business fields like TV, broadcasting, like security services, aircraft services, but the main area of interest for this event is the test and measurement division within Rohde Schwarz, which is relevant to LTE testing, of course. So we are providing test equipment for LTE infrastructure vendors, UE and chipset vendors, as well as the operators. Of course, there was a strong takeoff, really, in terms of activities for LTE on our side. So in comparison to last year, there's a lot more that has happened in terms of commercial deployment. You know, there are existing commercial networks operated right now. And supporting that, of course, we had to do a lot of things in supporting the testing for the operation of that, as well as developing the terminals, implementing the base stations, testing these entities. So it's a strong increase in activities on our side for LTE. Well, yeah, the customers we are having are, as I said, from the different directions, and we are in close cooperation with all of those. So with the chipset and terminal manufacturers, for instance, we have very close project to get the terminals ready, to have them time to market ready very quickly. So we are cooperating with them in certain projects, developing the testing needs for their challenges. So I mean, there are challenges around the spectrum, there are challenges around supporting voice in LTE that have been discussed quite widely at this conference as well. But we try to reflect that, we have reflected that in providing functionality in our test equipment. So I mean, I give you one example, there's the CMW 500, which is a terminal test on our side. And we have implemented a CS fallback solution, which is one of the voice solutions discussed at this event on that CMW 500, already for falling back to 3G wideband CDMA. And new functionality will be added throughout the year. Well, of course, LTE is a new technology. So we have these essential new parts in it, like having the new air interface, having the MIMO support, which is essential for LTE performance, and you need to verify that. Like MIMO is a specific new thing to be verified in the lab, to be verified in the field as well. So challenges is from the technology itself, that have new parts in it that need to be tested. Then, of course, there is specific items, as I mentioned before, the spectrum issue and the voice support that have specific focus, because LTE is a PS-only network, so we had not aimed for a circuit switch voice support in the beginning, and now with VoIP running in LTE, we have to do specific testing to make sure voice is supported the right way. And as I mentioned, this has been addressed already in our company. I truly believe it's an issue for the UE manufacturers, because they need to support a variety of different bands, and designing a global handset is, of course, is not easy, having in mind a form factor which is like a smartphone or USB dongle. So deciding which frequency bands to be used, because there are so many around different areas in the world, is not easy to do. On a test and measurement perspective, this is much easier, because we don't have these form factor restrictions like a terminal would have. So we are supporting all the frequency bands up to 6 gigahertz. There's been a lot of discussion recently on the higher frequency range, above 3 gigahertz, where some TDD bands are used for LTE operation as well. We can support that from a T&M perspective very easily, because our equipment is flexible enough to do that. However, I can understand for the industry, in terms of UE and chipset manufacturers, this is an issue which is not so easy to be addressed. Well, we have a few terminals only so far that are commercially available. We can see a lot of more coming, I guess, in the next 12 months. So, as I mentioned earlier, we are cooperating, working together with the chipset and terminal manufacturers very closely. I believe there will be a lot of more launches coming up throughout the next 12 months, and we are working on that already. So I'm quite confident that we see a higher variety of terminals being available within the next year.